Scott, you know how much I love Assassin's Creed, so let's get into it. As new Assassin's Creed Red gameplay details, well, they're leaked online. Ubisoft cannot hold a secret, my friend. At all.
No.
Ever. Dominic Boshnak over at Game Rant had this to say: a number of gameplay details about Assassin's Creed Red have emerged online, having been outlined in a new report from credible industry insider. Among many other things, the leaked information suggests that the upcoming game will completely overhaul Assassin's Creed series Parkour System, which is something that hasn't been done in about a decade. I think this is a much needed take when it comes to Assassin's Creed.
You know, the last time they changed the parkour was Unity, running down the buildings, and Unity had other problems. It wasn't the parkour.
No, I enjoyed the parkour. Once you got used to the game mechanic changing in that sense, I think it made a lot of sense. And to be able to kind of guide which way you wanted to run, right? It is a tricky mechanic, I think, to get right. And I think they've tried their best over the years, and sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. But like I said, they haven't really had a huge overhaul in about a decade long. Mirage, I thought, was really fun. I like the parkour system there, and I was running from rooftop to rooftop. You can literally run across Baghdad, dude, from one side to the other without touching the ground. Like, that is...
No, it's awesome. They know how to do it best.
No, absolutely. But we'll continue on with Assassin's Creed Red was officially announced in September of 2022 as part of that year's Ubisoft Forward event. Prior to the game's confirmation, the fandom spent years asking for a mainline series entry set in feudal Japan. While Ubisoft's 2022 announcement delivered the long-awaited answer to those calls, the developer/publisher has revealed little concrete information about the game ever since. And while the radio silence continues, some official insights into Assassin's Creed Red have now surfaced online, courtesy of Insider Gaming's Tom Henderson. The big picture stuff outlined in the new report mostly revolves around the game's dude, what a weird word to use. I've read this a couple times. It was like purported engine change. Okay, we'll go with it. With sources close to the project alleging that Red will use an updated version of the company's internal Anvil engine called Anvil Pipeline. Among other things, the new engine is said to bring support for full-fledged ray tracing, which would be the first for the Assassin's Creed series. I think everybody's doing that now, right? So why wouldn't they?
I'm confused because I thought that was in Unity. Unity does... Remember walking through that palace at the beginning and all the light casting across? I thought that was to show off ray tracing at the time, but I was mistaken.
Yeah, it's just everything's getting overhauled. Ray tracing is now a new ray tracing with it's like the DLSS with the RSS and the XYZs and yeah, it's all that PC ray tracing goodness that we're kind of looking for to come over, not only on PC but the consoles, right? The better the lighting, the better the gameplay surrounding that atmosphere can really enhance, right? And then when you take a look at Unreal Engine 5, then they take a look at Anvil back in Ubisoft, they're going, man, we need to maybe step things up a bit. This could be the idea behind that as well, right? But Parkour System overhaul is also... Go ahead.
Oh, Anvil being stepped up is an interesting idea, though, because I don't know if Anvil's been in use for a very long time, but I do know that Skull and Bones uses Anvil. And, we had some good things and some not so good things to say about how Skull and Bones looked, but hopefully they put a little bit more time into Red.
Yeah, I think that'll be a different look altogether. But Parkour System overhaul is also on the cards for Assassin's Creed Red. The engine switch is understood to be motivated by Ubisoft's desire to streamline the development of future installments in the franchise. Up until now, the company's many Assassin's Creed studios have all predominantly worked on their own branches of the Anvil engine, which is a unique thing. Why wouldn't you want to unify that across the board?
Yeah.
But each game calls for its own little desires, right? So then they'll go in and they'll tweak the engine for whatever that game is required that isn't in the Anvil engine. So I can see why each studio has their own unique take on the engine itself, instead of going in and having one streamline right across the board. So now I wonder how this works. If they go in there, if one tweak is made, now it's made across the board for everybody, right? And that kind of just helps maybe keep growing this engine just a little bit further and streamlining it, making it easier for development So that's not something they have to redo or rejig every time they look to make another Assassin's Creed game year after year after year, which seems to be the way we're going here shortly. And while the technology standard,
we are definitely loading up for more of a yearly Assassin's Creed again, but that's because of Assassin's Creed Infinity.
Does that make you worried at all, Scott, if we get back to that cycle of a yearly release of Assassin's Creed? Call of Duty does it.
A little bit. Call of Duty does it. Mega Man used to do it back in the past too, but there was just too many games after a long enough time, and I don't think that's not what I'd prefer. I'd prefer much a slower release, a more thought out, but we have seen them kind of revert back to Mirage, Assassin's Creed Mirage, that kind of reintroduced a different angle. So I'm not sure if we'll get enough variety, maybe jumping between the different kinds of styles of Assassin's Creed.
I wonder if we're looking at getting, because Red's going to be a big game, right? Like, I think Red, when it releases this year, Scott, Red's coming this year. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. But I wonder if they go back to, hey, this is going to be the size of Valhalla, right? Valhalla was huge. Dude, you can easily sink 200 hours into that game. Hands down. Hands down. So do we go that large scale for 2 years? Because Valhalla ran for 2 years. And then we got Mirage, which was just a much smaller title. So does that what we get here with Red, is we get a 2-year life cycle out of Red, and then we get another small title out of that? I say small, like I still spent 30 hours plus in Mirage. So it's not like it's like an 8-hour experience and then you're out.
I'm thinking we'll get away from that, because Ubisoft has taken a lot of flack for inflating their games, bloat. Yep. So I think we're going to get away from those super mega long entire ocean as a map. I think we're getting away from that, and that's what Infinity is supposed to bring too. More updates between titles instead of just one title forever.
They're about to turn Assassin's Creed into a games of service model, right? Like, that's where it's going. They want you to be in here on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that you do not leave ever. And part of me, as a big Assassin's Creed fan myself, like you'll see a lot of Assassin's Creed figures behind me, like all the way back to Altair. Like, I'm a huge fan. I've been there from day one, and I've played every single one of them moving forward. Is that a little too much? Because we hit a spell where, dude, it was a yearly release. Boom, 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 boom. And we're like, can we just get a break? Like, can we just slow down a little bit on the Assassin's Creed content? But I wonder if they're able to shape it in a way that we don't feel just over-exhausted from it all, that we don't feel the fatigue, right? We talk about Call of Duty fatigue, but yet it still does juggernaut numbers. So if Assassin's Creed can do the same thing, why wouldn't they? Valhalla was their biggest game ever. Mirage comes out to great success. Keep it going, right? Like, how long you want to ride this, but Assassin's Creed has been around for 15 plus years now. So it's not going anywhere, and I don't think that they're going to slow down. And while the technology standardizes of this sort could help shorten the development cycle of future entries, the undertaking is also said to require laying some groundwork that hasn't been revised in a while. Assassin's Creed Red is hence set to complete an overhaul of animations and core systems such as parkour and dynamic weather, Henderson reports. Meanwhile, the game's combat is purported to resemble that of Valhalla, with the report significantly mentioning that Red will feature a lot of gore, including frequent outcomes, including decapitations. So let me back that up. Enemy dismemberments wasn't present in Mirage, but was a frequent outcome in fights in Valhalla. In terms of stealth, Henderson listed the ability to distinguish torches, hide in foliage, and go prone at will as some of the mechanics. Dude, that's something we didn't often get to do in Assassin's Creed, right? You can crouch.
No, you can never.
Yeah. So this is like, does that excite you to finally be able to? I can crawl on the ground.
I'll creep around like Snake in yet another game.
Which has me excited. As a massive stealth fan, right? I'm such a stealth fan of the genre. I love being able to sneak around. I play the Panther style. I don't go in and just sneak my way through everything. I go in, I take you out, and you don't even know I'm there, and then I walk out the front door. Hello, Hitman, right? That is my style. Sam Fisher, same thing. I remember back in the day, you could pick your play style, which way you wanted to go, and I went Panther.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll pounce, take you out, and then bounce. And like I was never there, dude, like I was a ghost. All of a sudden, now you're just one guard short, and you're going, what happened? Well, I happened. That's what happened. Dude, it's just my
I
genre.
have-
So
I do have a question about the combat because
Yeah.
I played a very small amount of Valhalla.
Same
Was
here.
there moments in Valhalla where you're up against another opponent, but they're too high level for you and you just can't do anything?
Absolutely.
That is the most frustrating,
Yes.
angering.
Yeah.
Now, if that's a thing, but I can get around that with stealth, then I'm okay with that. That's okay. But if
And
I get up to somebody and I do the neck stab thing and it's not a one-hit kill, that's an uninstall instantly.
Yeah, no, I think Assassin's
That's a
Creed
0
needs
out
to
of
be
10.
dude, that hidden blade needs to be the hidden blade for a reason, right? You need to be able to do the
Yeah.
rooftop jump, dive, and take them out from above, right? The death from above thing is such a huge mechanic within Assassin's Creed. You can't just jump on them and then, oh, now you're in a fight. It happens, dude. It has happened. Like Valhalla was like that, right? It was a death from above, and it filled up the meter for so long, but it didn't go all the way to take them out until you leveled up enough. And yeah, there's going to be a bit of a grind here, and I'm curious how they pull in that RPG element for Red. But dude, everything as far as the stealth reports go, and the overhaul of the parkour system has me very intrigued. The dismemberment pull from Valhalla has me pretty excited too. It's feudal Japan, dude. We should get into some wicked fights and see some heads roll at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, well, something about Wicked Japan and the katana fights is that they really only last like 3 seconds. So I'm going to be really disappointed if I'm slamming against somebody's high-level armor all day.
Well, time will tell, because, well, it's this year.